books, you welcome back to my channel. I didn't do a book haul in December, but I've been getting books, so I thought I'd just come on here today and show you some of the books that I've gotten recently. If I've mentioned them in a previous book haul, like say in November, then I apologize if I've been repetitive, but most of these are new. I think most of these came in December, and a couple of them I just got in the first few days in January. So most of these are nonfiction that I got from publishers. The first one is ExLibris, 100 Books to Read and Reread by Michiko Kakutani. This is the New York Times reviewer. And Michiko Kakutani shares her enthusiasm for more than 100 books, novels, and memoirs by some of today's most gifted writers. I love the look of this book. I love the size of it. And open it just randomly. And it's talking about one of my favorite books, A House for Mr. Biswas by V.S. Naipaul, who is a Trinidadian author. So I'm looking forward to reading this, hopefully soon, and reviewing it. I'll talk more about it here on the channel, as I will with all of these. The next two I got from my relationship with TLC Book Tours. Both of these are business books. The first one is The Business of We, the proven three-step process for closing the gap between us and them in your workplace. I think this is an important topic as we're thinking about returning to work, maybe the traditional idea of work after COVID, after the pandemic. For me, I've been out of the workplace for a while now, and especially now I have a child to raise. I don't know when I'm going to go back to corporate America. So I think this will be interesting to read and see what people are talking about as it relates to the workplace, the traditional idea of the workplace. And I'm going to be reading and reviewing this on my blog soon. This one is by Laura Kriska. And I also have another one, which is another business book, Back to Business and Landing Your Dream Job After a Career Pause. So this is one that I was actually thinking about in terms of returning to the job world. So this one is from HarperCollins. Both of these are from HarperCollins Leadership, and I got copies because I am doing tours for TLC Book Tours. And I didn't tell you the author of this one, or authors, Nancy McSharry Jensen and Sarah Duenwald. So both of these business books I'm looking forward to getting to, not just to read and review for the publishers, but also how they will impact my own development. I got this one from Penguin Random House, Bagman by Rachel Maddow, subtitled The Wild Crimes, Audacious Cover-Up, and Spectacular Downfall of a Brazen Crook in the White House. And no, this is not talking about the present administration. This is actually about Richard Nixon, but I thought it was really interesting that it was published now. This is a new release, came out in December. And here's a brief synopsis of the synopsis. Is it possible for a sitting vice president to direct a vast criminal enterprise within the halls of the White House? For him to get caught pocketing cash-stuffed envelopes inside his vice presidential office, and for a scandal like that to almost immediately disappear from public consciousness? The year was 1973, and Spiro Agnew, the former governor of Maryland, was Richard Nixon's second in command. And I don't know much about that history, but when I showed this cover to my husband, he knew exactly that it was going to be talking about Spiro Agnew. So I think historians know more about this. Maybe if you lived in this country at this time, you know more about this. If you're just familiar with American history, you know more about this. It's a topic that I'm always interested in reading about and learning about. So I'm going to be reading and reviewing this one pretty soon as well. Other books that I got from Penguin Random House include the Kurt Vonnegut love letters from 1941 to 1945. This came with a cover ripped, and you know, I don't like that, but it was a free copy, so I don't mind. These letters were edited by Edith Vonnegut, who's Kurt Vonnegut's daughter. And I think these are love letters that he exchanged with his wife over that period. And oh, it's just, you know, something about reading letters that I have enjoyed. I enjoy the act of letter writing. I used to enjoy it a lot more when I was younger. I feel like I had a lot more time. Maybe because there weren't as many distractions as there are now. I wasn't what Doris called doom scrolling. I didn't have Instagram to scroll through Vox or messages to keep up with, and I would just write letters. I love stationery. I love getting letters, even if I don't write them as often myself. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading and reviewing that one. And another book that I got from Penguin Random House. Did this come from Penguin Random House? I'm not sure anymore. The imprint is 10 Speed Press. Is that a Penguin Random House imprint? Yes. Okay. An imprint of Random House. So this one is about book covers. The Look of the Book by Peter Mendelsohn and David J. Allworth. And some of these may be familiar images. They might be familiar images or parts of images to you. Like, you know, this is Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. This one is Catcher in the Rye. And I remember maybe 2 years ago now, Sean from Sean the Book Maniac did a contest on his channel where he showed parts of popular book covers and asked you to guess what they were. And so this is almost exactly like that, and I think this is fantastic. I think this is from Lolita and The Great Gatsby, of course, and more images on the back. So this is about book covers. There's someone I follow on Instagram, and I don't remember the channel now, but this person analyzes book covers and book cover trends, and it's a subject that I love, so I'm looking forward to going through this one and learning some things about aesthetics of book covers, maybe why they're chosen, the process of making those choices. I have found sometimes that I prefer the covers that are published in other countries. Like sometimes if you make a comparison between the UK covers and the US covers, I go for the UK cover. And so I find myself ordering books from the United Kingdom sometimes just because I want a particular cover. But I think that is because the publishers are responding to trends and what they consider to be taste preferences in their country or in their market area. So maybe I'm British. I did grow up in the colonial Caribbean. So yeah, that's another gift from Penguin Random House, as is this one, Jodi Picoult's newest release, The Book of Two Ways. And the last book that I read from her was A Book of Small Great Things, which I enjoyed until I started to think about own voices stories and own voices representations. So I'm interested to see how this one goes. There is some discussion about Egypt and Egyptian history or mythology. I guess history. There's an archaeologist in this book. So this is a novel. It's not on my January reading plans, but I may end up getting to it in January or February. We'll see. So those are books that I got from publishers recently. I also got this one as a gift from a friend. She said she read it a long time ago. Someone gave it to her, and because she knows I read a lot, she wanted me to read it and tell her how I found it. So so those are books that I got from publishers. I only have 2 more books to share with you. One was a gift from a friend who knows that I read a lot, and she said someone gave her this book some years ago. She read it, she really enjoyed it, and she wanted me to check it out and for us to discuss. And she didn't tell me what the book was about. She didn't tell me the title or anything, so I decided not to go too far into researching this book. This is one of my going to a book blind. Speaking about blindness, Daddy is the title, and it's by Luc Duran. And here's what it says on the back. He's a genius. He has the key to $350 million locked in his head. He's being hunted by the Nazis. He's 11 years old. And there's only one man who can save him, a man he's never met. So this is not a book that I would pick up right away myself, but it is translated fiction, translated by J. Maxwell Brown John, and it doesn't say from what language. Should I assume German? French. Translated from French. So I'm not sure when I'll read this, but hopefully soon. Another big book. This one is 375 pages. So also, this is not a new release. This one was the translation copyright was in 1988, originally published in 1987. So we'll see. But then the final book was one that I bought myself. This is one of the books for the Run Write Reads book club in January. So it took a while for me to get my copy, but my copy is here. That is Ms. Maryse Condé. I don't know if she's taken her husband's name, but she is married. This is the wondrous and tragic life of Ivan and Ivana. Maryse Condé was born in Guadeloupe, which is a French territory in the Caribbean. And Ivan and Ivana are twins, and it says they have a bond so strong they become afraid of their feelings for one another. And their mother sends them off to live with their father in Mali, where they begin to grow apart, and then later they go to Paris, and I guess most of the story happens in Paris. So I'm interested to see how Maryse Condé represents the Caribbean and the passage of the immigrant, and we'll be talking about this in the book club. I think the book club is going to convene on Zoom. The discussion is going to happen on Zoom. So if you're interested in reading with me, discussing with me, would love to have you join the book club. Leave me a message down below if you're interested in doing that. So those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books that I got recently that I don't think I shared with you. And I wanted to make this video just so when you see me talk about the books, you'll know how I got them, where I got them. If I don't mention it at that time, that's not true. I do have one more book. Did I tell you that this was a gift from Penguin Random House? Just in case I didn't include this in my previous haul, I did get this also as a gift from Penguin Random House. Barack Obama's memoir, A Promised Land. This is the first of his promised 2-volume memoirs of his presidential years. And I've been reading, I read this and I've been discussing it in IGTV videos, Instagram TV videos, and I will do a full review here on the channel as well. So you'll hear me talk more about this one. I read this at the end of December into the beginning of January, and that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more. Let's chat in the comments, and until next time, happy reading. Bye.